And today what we're gonna do is we're gonna be building a lower third. I'm gonna show you guys how I made this. What's going on, team? Welcome to a series I'm calling Building a Brand. So I'm going back, taking account of pretty much all of my social platforms and what I got going on. And I noticed my branding is, well, for lack of a better term, it's a mess. Over the years, I've had different social media with different profile pictures and different colorways. And I realized for something that I do all the time, my personal branding sucks. I'm gonna be bringing you guys along for the ride and showing you how I create these assets. And you know what? I'll probably be just give away those assets so that you guys either can follow along with me in the video or you can just download the assets on your own and you can have them for free. So if that's something that you like or want to follow along with, make sure you subscribe to the channel, click that follow and like button. And today what we're going to do is we're going to be building a lower third. Super simple. You don't need any fancy software. You don't even need paid software. You can do this 100% for free. Hear me out. Free 99 in Canva. So let's jump into the computer so I can show you how I did that. Cool. So here we are inside of Canva. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over here at the very top where we have our different templates, and we're going to click on video. For this, we're gonna click on this landscape video, 1920 by 1080. We're in our workspace. And the first thing I like to do on this very first slide always is try to pull in my assets. What I know in my head I'm gonna use. Obviously this will grow more over time or shrink once I've made other design decisions. But right now, I know I'm going to need my new logo. So this is the new logo and the new name of the channel. It will be Coach.Creates because I'm creating many things, not just music. So I'm going to pull in this logo. I'm also going to go to elements and I'm going to pull in a frame, a circle frame. And I'm also going to pull in a rounded rectangle. While I'm here, I'm also going to write the text, which is at Coach.Creates. So we have our elements here. And the first thing I'm going to bring in is this rounded rectangle. So with the rounded rectangle, I want the outline to show, and I want the outline to be white. Let's go ahead and change this background color here just so this stands out a little more. And let's go ahead and pull in a picture, and I have a picture of a beach here. That is where I would like to live, right there. So we have our rounded rectangle, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna stretch it out. And like I mentioned before, we're gonna work on a border. I have a white border, and I'm going to thicken the weight. So it's somewhere around there, 20, let's say. We're also gonna take out the fill color. So it's just a see-through rectangle. I'm gonna put in my text. So I have at Coach.Creates here. Go ahead and copy this. Let's enlarge it. Somewhere around there looks nice. Let's also change that color to white. Pops against the background. Awesome. I want to use this frame and I want to put my logo, my icon, inside of the frame. Drag it in here. We're just going to drop it right on top. Then we're going to double click it and I'm going to start expanding this bad boy until it fits nicely, almost perfect in the frame. Nice. So we see here I've missed it a little bit. Go ahead and double click it. Let's pull out this side just a little bit more. So it looks pretty centered in that frame, and I'm going to copy it. We're going to paste it over here. What I want to do is I want to put it right here, right at the edge of that rounded rectangle. We're going to size it down just so it's just big enough to cover the rounded rectangle. I like that. I'm going to add some stroke to this as well. I'm going to make it white just so we don't see those edges or my misalignment. And we're going to thicken it up a little bit so it's about as thick as the rounded rectangle. That's cool. Close enough. I like that. I like that. So let's go ahead and expand this a little bit. We're going to move this somewhere around there. Everything's looking nice and balanced. And now at this point, I want to animate my elements. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this frame. We're going to click on animate over here. And on the left-hand side, I want this to pop. One thing I want to keep in mind is with a lower third, most times they're animated on the way in and they also animate on the way out. So I want to make sure I do that as well. Down here where it says animate, we're going to click on both. I want it to pop in and I want it to pop out. The next element, this rounded rectangle, I want it to wipe. And I want it to wipe on both entry and exit. And then the text, I'm going to click on the text and I want it to merge on both entry and exit. Now the last thing I want to do, and this is kind of a cheat code, I notice a lot of people don't do this, is I want to add another rounded rectangle. And here's why. If we took this, because it's almost done, if we were to take all three of these elements and we put it on a light background. So for instance, I have this snowy picture here. Beautiful, snowy landscape. And if this was our background, I'm going to copy and paste my lower third here. And it's just hard to read all around, right? You got to think it's usually not this big. A lower third takes up a lower third of the screen. It's somewhere around here. So general rule, light foreground elements don't mix well with light background elements, right? It doesn't matter. Yeah, you could move it around. Sure. However, it's called a lower third for a reason. You want to keep it down, kind of out of the way. So the cheat code for this, I'm going to go ahead and delete that. I'll take another rounded rectangle, paste it here, and we're going to mess with the transparency. I'm going to bring the transparency down to about 50%. And now I'm going to make this just ever so slightly bigger than our entire composition here, encompassing all the elements that we just made. I want to make sure it's even on top and on bottom, well balanced. Something like that, close enough. And then we're going to put it behind all of the new elements. That dark background will now make everything pop. Let's make sure to remember to animate this as well on both entry and exit and reverse. So I'm really liking the way it looks. However, the timing bothers me a little bit. So what we're going to do is by clicking on the element, it shows the timing down here. And if it doesn't, you can always go to hide timing element or show timing element by right clicking on that element. I want the entire thing to last about 7 seconds, let's say. But I want the shadow black background, I want it to last half a second longer than everything else. Highlight all the elements, group them together, and now we have one lower third element. We can copy and paste anywhere and put anywhere and it's still legible. I like about having it this way, I've seen in the past where sometimes people will create a slide and they will maybe put a green screen or maybe put the entire background black, whatever it is. Now, the problem with doing it like this is that when you decide to key it out, it may key out wrong parts, right? Like if you're taking out the green, well, guess what? Some of this green is in the background. And if you're taking out black, well, some of the black is over here. So it gets a little tricky. The best thing you could do is kind of just have it here in another slide. I'll have it white. And then you can always grab this element. And let's go into a different project that I have. I've copied it from this one. Then I go into another project and I just hit paste. It automatically pastes there. There you can resize it however you want. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to follow along on the other socials now that we're doing this rebranding. Like I mentioned in the tutorial video, the new handle is @Coach.Creates. So if you want to follow along this journey, you want to learn a few things, by all means, please click that subscribe button and like button. It really helps out the algorithm. And if you just don't want to build it, because sometimes building sucks and you just want this template, The link will be down below. You can get that template absolutely free. Until the next video, this is your friendly neighborhood coach, and I'm out. Again and again and again.